No time for that doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CPC. I'm your gracious host, Carl. And as you can see, I'm not by myself today. I'm joined by my two bros. I got the man of the dog house, dog master, dog whisperer, Davey Dollars. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, Carl? Excited to be here.
All right, and below him, if your screen like mine, I got my dog RBO Vaughn. You know, he had to come down to the collegiate ranks real quick. You normally see him talk about professional basketball, giving y'all diamonds in the rough, you know, rookie talks, guys on the come up, things like that. But he came to talk to me about this collegiate basketball. What up, Vaughn?
What it do, my boy? Thanks for having me, man. Like I always say, let's get active.
All right, cool. Now, as y'all know, I normally go by myself, but I thought I'd switch it up. I thought I'd do like a little game day style. We got a great day of college basketball ahead of us. So I thought I'd go game day, talk about the games, get some picks, predictions. Just so you know what to look for on this joyous college basketball Saturday. But before we get into that, I would like to ask that y'all leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my YouTube, Carl Talking College, under the Refuse to Lose network. It helps Dave's YouTube, Dave's Doghouse, under the Refuse to Lose network. Vaughn's RBO, Real Ballers only under the Refuse to Lose network. BWT, Baseball with Teddy, who went live yesterday to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. You know, he had to throw his shots. That's with the Refuse to Lose network. We got the main show featuring Dave again, Joe, and Tomo. They've now switched it up. They're going live in the mornings now instead of at 7, so catch them at 9, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You got Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, who he's now switching over to playoff talk since fantasy football leagues are now over. You got in the red corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Fast Camp. They're having a great experience. They're growing ever since that interview with Bomac. So if you like combat sports, boxing, get them a little look. I think I got everybody, but if I missed you, I'm sorry. It's not because I don't watch. I just forgot. But please just listen to a couple videos. If you like what you're listening to, you know, stick with us. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about what y'all came here for. These college basketball games. We got 10 power conferences. And yes, the first one will be UConn at St. John, which I deem the Big East as a power conference. Hey, debate yourself. First, we got UConn -3.5 at St. John's, 12 o'clock on Fox. Pretty exciting game. UConn on a 9-game win streak. Last loss was on the road, I believe, to Seton Hall. 19-2, and just, you know, 19-2 record, 9-1 in Big East. Like I said, lost to Seton Hall. UConn is led by Tristan Newton, a bucket, 15.8 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, 5.7 assists per game. Cam Spencer, 14.9 points per game, 4.5 boards a game, and 3.2 assists per game. And the big fella down low, tall guy, Donovan Clingan, 12.8 points per game, 6.1 rebounds a game, and 1.9 blocks per game. Now, key players off the bench will be Samson Johnson and Hassan Diarra. Now, St. John is led by the big fella himself, Joel Soriano. He's averaging 16.6 points per game, 10 boards per game. He's been a foundation piece for St. John's for a little while now. Danish Jenkins, the transfer from Iona that came over with Rick Pitino, 13.6 points per game, 5.6 assists per game, and 3.9 boards per game. And RJ Louise, the transfer from UMass, excuse me. He averages 10.2 points per game and 4.6 boards per game. Now, their key players off the bench will be Jordan Dingle and Naeem Allen. Name sounds familiar. Transfer from UConn. They're 13-8, 5-5 in Big East play with a 4-2 Big East home record. I'm gonna go to you, Vaughn. I'm gonna go to you. Who do you have winning this game?
All right, so we know that this is their second time meeting in this year. Last time the UConn was at home, I believe, and they won by 4 points. So St. John right now, they're on. I believe they've won only one out of the last 5 games right now. They're kind of slumping. They're kind of going through a rough patch. But I think today's the day they right that ship. They're 8-2 at home overall this year, and I believe that last game Cleveland didn't play; he was injured, and I believe that with him in the lineup, I believe Soriano will actually have a better game. To be honest, I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like he would be able to do more what he can do. And I'm gonna go with St. John edging them out because if you look at UConn's past games away, in conference, they've been playing some close games. Mm-hmm. And I think St. John's can definitely edge them out today and get out of that slump.
All right, Dave.
Wow, I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm shocked. I definitely think this is gonna be a close game, and actually the UConn is favored 4.5 right now on ESPN Bet.
All right, FanDuel odds for anybody looking at the odds. Mine
yeah,
came from FanDuel.
I know. I'm just saying ESPN has it at 4.5. I also think it's going to be a close game. Like Vaughn said, last time they played, it was a pretty good game. St. John's is really good at home. UConn has kind of sort of been struggling, even though they've been winning. They've been struggling on the road, sort of. But I'm going to go with UConn. I think UConn extends that win streak to 10 games. I feel like Tristan Newton will have a pretty good game. He's averaging about 16 points per game right now, 41% from the field. Now, his free throw percentage, I definitely think he needs to get better. But, hey, I mean, who in college is really shooting 80, 90% in college for us? Not too many players. But I think Tristan Newton's going to have a good game. And I think I don't think that they will. I think they'll win this game close. I don't think it's going to be 3.5. I think they may win it by 2 or a point. I think it's going to be that close.
All right, so Vaughn, you're going to be the lone wolf here. I'm going with UConn. I think the fact that Donovan Clingan is back will force St. John's to shoot a lot of jumpers. They do have guys that can shoot them like Dennis Jenkins, but I don't think they want to live off jump shots. I do think they want to work through Joel Soriano and get things going at the rim. I think Clingan stops that. Tristan Newton, like you said, like we all know, he's a bucket. I think that's a huge impact there. I do think that the St. John's crowd will be a factor in this game. I do think St. John's play significantly better at home than they do on the road. But like you said, Vaughn, they slumming. This is the wrong team to slum against. UConn's on a heater. I'm going to take UConn in this one. I think the game is close. Maybe a little bit not as close as y'all might think, but I do think UConn. I think the game is close, but I'm going UConn in this one. Anything any one of you would like to add to that?
Shout out to my brother who's a huge UConn fan.
One thing I can say, these last couple of games, Cleveland hasn't really been on the floor that much. He's been playing under 20 minutes the last 4 out of 5 games. So we're going to see. Last game he was in foul trouble. They played Providence, though, who doesn't really have a big man to really combat him. So we'll see, Like I said, I just think that him being out there, he's 7'2", 280. He doesn't move as well, When they played last time, the backup, he kind of moves a little bit better than him, a little bit more swift. So I think Soriano I think he can get at him. But it's going to be a close game for sure. It's going to be a dogfight. So
I mean, that's true. I agree because UConn only beat Butler by 7 on the road. Only beat Xavier by 5.
Hold on. Let's not discount that. Butler's a pretty good Big East
I know. I'm just saying. Beat Villanova by 1.
Now that's a shocker.
Every game, and that's almost every single road game. Every road game was close.
Yeah.
Now every game at home was pretty much a blowout.
Right.
That's true. My other thing I want to talk about, because you talked about the big man Popovich, don't discount Otero now. I know Kim English brought him over from George Mason. You know, it's a pretty nice big right there.
Yeah, I give you that.
I wanted to say his first name, but I know I get his name confused with the big man from Minnesota. So I know I'm going to jack it up. So I'm going to just leave it at that. But, yeah, we'll move on to South Carolina at Georgia. And if you watch the Refuse to Lose main show on, I believe, Monday, you saw me bring up the fact that South Carolina being unranked at this current junction is blasphemy. The fact that they are currently 18-3, 6-2, well, 5-2 at the time in the SEC with a blowout win against Kentucky. I believe they won by 16, 17 points. It was just blasphemy to not have that team ranked while you had all the teams around them in the SEC ranked. You had Kentucky ranked. You had Tennessee ranked. I think you had – I can't remember if you had Alabama ranked at the time, but it was teams around SC that didn't deserve to be ranked that were ranked. So, yes, I get it. This is a rematch for SC at Georgia. SC lost to Georgia at home earlier in the year, but Miles Studi was hurt. In my opinion, South Carolina was in control of that game until Studi got hurt. Then it was like, we don't know what we're really doing here. How do we, pick up from here? And Georgia took advantage and won the game. But about this game, South Carolina is led by Michi Johnson. The Ohio State transfer has done wonders for this program, averaging 15.1 points per game, 2.7 assists per game. BJ Mack, big BJ down low, transfer from Wofford, averaging 14 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game. And Talon Cooper, another great guard on the South Carolina team, averaging 10.3 points per game and 4.2 assists per game. Key players off the bench will be Jacoby Wright and Colin Murray Boyles. Now, South Carolina is a top scoring defense, top 20 scoring defense. I meant to say that in the UConn segment. They're tied with UConn, both giving up 64.2 points per game. South Carolina plays good defense. Georgia, they're led by Noah Tomlinson, the transfer from Niagara, 12 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game. They also have another scorer with Jabri Abdur-Rahim, who averages more, 13.1 points per game, 3.8 boards per game. And RJ Melendez, the transfer from Illinois, averaging 11.3 points per game and 4.6 rebounds per game. Key players off the bench will be Blue Kane and Justin Hill. Georgia is 14-7, 4-4 in SEC play. I'm going to go to you, Dave, to start this one. Give me your prediction.
All right, so they're being like you said, South Carolina being led by Michi Johnson, who's averaging about 15 points per game, shooting 82% from the free throw line. We got BJ Mack as their forward, who's leading the team in rebound per game right now. And I like Talon Cooper. Talon Cooper has been playing pretty well this year. I think he's a really good facilitator. I'm going with South Carolina. South Carolina is actually, not favored in this game. They have Georgia, from what I see, as a 59% chance to win this game. So they only giving South Carolina 41% chance to win.
They disrespected us. They gave us 8% against Tennessee.
Yeah, so I think South Carolina, plays better in this game. This is their revenge game. I believe that they come out with a W. I'm expecting a 16 to 18 point game by Michi, and I feel like they're going to be able to hold Jabari to not really have a dominant game as he usually does for Georgia. I'm expecting South Carolina to come out on fire and win this game.
Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I'm going with South Carolina as well. Last time they played, the injury was a big factor, but also, they were 17 from 32 from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. Now, you shoot about 50% from the free throw line, you're going to take an L. They were dominated on the glass. They lost the rebounding battle by 9. So I really think Matt comes out this game. He has a good game. He attacks the glass. He's very versatile out there, so he'll bring the big man out of the paint. We do got a big man over there in Georgia. Bring him out the paint, and I believe these guards will be able to get their buckets. Like you say, SC is a good defensive team. I think they will lead with their defense, and I don't see them shooting 50% from the free throw line again. They're on a 4-game win streak, so I think they keep it rolling.
Cool. I agree with both y'all. I think the fighting Q-Zips, as the South Carolina fans call us. Shout out Lamont Paris. Think we get the dub here. Revenge factor. Also, man, we want to be ranked. We feel like we've been robbed. You see players talking about it. Michi Johnson, I think Talon Cooper talked about it. You see guys talking about the fact that we haven't been ranked since 2017 when we made the Final Four and lost to Gonzaga. And we felt that we deserved it this week to make history. We felt like part of our a part of legacy. Even Don Staley was talking about how we got robbed. So we felt like we got robbed, and we've been playing like Avengers since that. Lamont Paris said, it's cool if you don't like us now, or you like us, cool. If you don't, you will pay, or something along them lines. And South Carolina been proving it on the floor. If you remember against Tennessee, we had Delton Knitsch, who's been averaging like 28 points per game in conference play. He was pretty much in check against South Carolina Tuesday night. He didn't really go crazy. Yeah, towards the end, he had a couple buckets to try to keep it close or try to make a push at the end. But overall, he scored 31, but that came late. It came later in the game. I think we do keep Noah Tomlinson and Jabri Abdul-Rahim in check. I do think Meechie Johnson gets it going. Talon Cooper gets the team going. I love Big BJ down low. He can stretch the floor. He can battle down low. Miles Studi being back is huge. Shooter. I'm taking South Carolina for the technical upset due to the odds in this one.
Yeah, I honestly believe they should be favored. I mean, they have the better record, so I don't. I guess, but you know, Georgia's. It's not like Georgia's a bad team. They're not a bad team, but I'm expecting South Carolina to come out on fire because, like you said, I feel like they're being disrespected. 18-3, and you got them as a 41% chance to beat Georgia. So
yeah. And Georgia, they stole Mike White from Florida, and he's been doing well this year. Freshman Blue Canes stepping up, knocking down shots. Hit the transfer portal. Georgia is a really good team, but I think this team right now, South Carolina, they're playing on a mission. They're trying to prove something, and you see it on the floor. Yeah. All right, so we move on to Texas at 25th ranked TCU. 2:00 on ESPN2. Texas, led by the Oral Roberts transfer, Max A. Smith, 17.7 points per game, 4.3 assists per game. Dylan DeSue, 15.3 points per game and 4.4 rebounds per game. Tyrese Hunter, 11.7 points per game and 4.2 assists per game. Key players off the bench for them are Brock Cunningham and Ethel Horton. Now, for TCU, they're led by Manuel Miller, 16.5 points per game, 5.9 boards per game, and 3 assists per game. Micah Peavy, 11.6 points per game and 5 boards per game, 2.8 assists per game. And Trevion Tennyson, transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, averaging 10.1 points per game. Now, Jameer Nelson was in the starting lineup. He has now been moved to the bench, so that's a key player off the bench. And Chuck O'Bannon Jr., who was a starter last year, now coming off the bench. TCU is 16-5, 5-3 in Big 12 play on a 3-game win streak. Texas is 14-7, 3-5 in Big 12 play. I'm gonna go to you, Vaughn. Who you got in this one?
This is a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. These are two teams led by some good guard play. But who I'm gonna go with? I think I'm gonna stick with the home team here. TCU right now, they are 10-1 at home. They have some really good wins at home. They beat Houston at home, didn't they? Didn't they beat Houston?
Houston. Yeah, I think they did beat Houston because Houston lost to Iowa State on the road. Yeah, and TCU. Yep.
Yeah, they beat Houston. Also beat Texas Tech. So they've been pretty good in conference play. They haven't been excellent, but I would trust them a little bit more than I trust Texas in conference play right now. Texas play guys really tough, but a lot of times they just can't get the job done. So I think TCU comes out this game. Like you said, Carl, they're on a win streak right now. So I think they extend their win streak. Yeah, I'm going with TCU, man. TCU.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm going with Texas. I feel like Max Ambers is going to have a really good game. I like the matchup between him and Emmanuel Miller. I think that's going to be a good head-to-head matchup in this game. Even though they only have a 31% chance to win this game, I feel like an upset can be coming for today. And I feel like I wouldn't call it that much of an upset because TCU is only ranked 25th. But I think it'll be a really good game, and I'm expecting him to get into the range of scoring about 20 plus points. So I feel like Max Ambers is gonna. I feel like he's gonna show out today.
Dave, you are the lone wolf in this one. I'm going TCU I think TCU bringing Jameer Nelson off the bench has done wonders. The scoring ability, the ability to facilitate that coming off the bench has done numbers. Texas, they've been a little shaky in my opinion in Big 12 play. TCU, man, at home, I just don't know, bro. They just really good at home. It's been that way. Emmanuel Miller played with my boy Mike Miles last year, and he stepped up tremendously with Mike Miles now being gone. He stepped up tremendously. Michael Peavy, just that athletic guy who can shoot. Chuck O'Bannon brings shooting off the bench. I understand Max Abmas is a bucket, but Max Abmas can be a bit inconsistent at times. I do like the energy of Dylan Dessou and Brock Cunningham. Brock Cunningham is like the ultimate hustle player in my opinion. But I just think TCU has a bit too much offensively for Texas. Texas, they can match up well with Texas. And like Vaughn said, they got an impressive win against a really good Houston team. I mean, really good Houston team at home. I just look at Texas. I don't really see that really good win to match up with that one. And I think TCU takes it. Also, I had something right here. TCU is 20th in scoring offense, averaging 83.7 points per game. Now, Texas is 90th in scoring defense, allowing 68.2 points per game. I think TCU takes advantage of that. I think TCU runs it up on Texas. I don't think it's a blowout by any means, but I do think they take advantage of their defense.
Yeah, with you 100%.
All right, cool. So we move on to UVA at Clemson, 2:00 on ESPN. Clemson's favored by 4.5 at home. Now, UVA is led by Reese Beckman, 13.3 points per game, 6.2 assists per game. Isaac McNeely, 11.6 points per game, 3 rebounds per game. And Ryan Dunn, 7.7 points per game and 7.1 boards per game. Key players off the bench will be Leon Bond and Blake Buchanan. They are 16-5, 7-3 in ACC play. You're going to get great ACC play from Virginia always. Tony Bennett is a really good ACC coach. 331st in scoring offense. Averaging 65.3 points per game. That's right up Virginia's alley. There's always been a good defensive team that have trouble scoring. When they did have a good team, a scoring team, won it all. Second in scoring defense, giving up 57.3 points per game. They are currently on a 5-game win streak, while Clemson is led by P.J. Hall. I think he was a preseason All-ACC. 19.9 points per game and 7.1 boards per game. Joseph Girard, 14.8 points per game, 3.5 boards per game, and 3.2 assists per game. And Chase Hunter, 12 points per game and 2.8 assists per game. Key players off the bench would be Dylan Hunter and R.J. Godfrey. They are 14-6, 4-5 in ACC play, 59th in scoring offense, scoring 79.7 points per game, and 54th in blocks, averaging 4.6 blocks per game. I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to roll with Clemson at home in this one. And the reason is I think that Clemson can score against this UVA defense. And when teams can score against UVA defense, that normally gives UVA problems. UVA normally have problems winning shootouts because they rely so heavily on that pack line defense by Tony Bennett that I think Clemson can take advantage of. P.J. Hall is a great big man down low. You got what's his name, Shefflin as well, the hustle big. Makes a lot of plays. He's gonna fight for boards. He's gonna set hard screens. I think Clemson wins this game against UVA, and I'm gonna go to Dave.
We agree. I go with Clemson as well. Pretty much all the same points that you put out. I just feel like Clemson is going to be on the road today. Clemson is actually a really good team in the ACC, and I just got this feeling that they're gonna come out on fire today. And I mean, UVA is also a good team. I mean, we know what they won the whole thing a few seasons ago, but this ain't them. It's Clemson. Clemson wins today.
Kyle Guy, DeAndre Hunter, and why am I forgetting the last one? I feel so bad because I rock with Cuz too. I can't remember his name, bro, but they're not walking through that door. Go ahead, Vaughn.
At all.
Well, I'm gonna go against the grain with this one. I'm gonna go with the away team, the UVA. I think they lead with defense. I just don't believe in Clemson, man. I just don't. They can play well, but they haven't shown me no consistency for me to actually believe in them. I don't think they have no real impressive wins for me really. They are 8-2 at home, but when you look at Virginia, that stellar defense, I think that they can really lock down. Clemson, on the other hand, they don't really have. They have, like you said, Hall, who's pretty elite, I would say. At scoring, he can put the ball in the basket. He doesn't attack the rebounds enough for me, but like you said, they have the other guy to do that. I just feel like the defense on the Virginia side will show up today, and they'll keep it close. And if they keep it close, then I think Virginia will win.
Yeah, so if they keep it close, I'm with you. But I think Clemson comes out like Dave said. I just think Clemson comes out. You got guys like Joseph Girard who can score. He's a bucket getter. He can shoot from beyond the three. He can shoot off balance shots, shoot off screens, et cetera, et cetera. And you got guys like Chase Hunter, who's an underrated scorer. Played last year with Hunter Tyson, and that backcourt with him and Hunter Tyson was pretty good as well. I think Chase Hunter's a pretty good bucket getter as well. So I think those two guards can definitely put up points and create for other players on that team for the Clemson side.
Yeah, they got some bucket getters on their wings for sure. But like I said, man, they got to show me some consistency, and I haven't seen that from Clemson yet.
No, they definitely got to show consistency. I just feel like today would be the day they show it.
Yeah, and like I said, bro, if you can score against UVA, it's pretty much raps because their whole philosophy is just to choke you, like to score and apply not to score, but to apply defense that you can't score, that it makes up for VA's lack of scoring.
Right.
So if you can score, you're pretty good. I'm gonna come back to that national championship team because there's one more person, and I'm so mad at myself I can't remember his name right now. He played for the Warriors, and I can't remember his name, and it's pissing me off. But we're going to move forward. I'm going to come back when I think of his name. We're going to move forward to one of the games of the night. 4th-ranked Houston at 8th-ranked Kansas, 4 o'clock on ESPN. Houston is led by the Baylor transfer L.J. Cryer, averaging 15.1 points per game. His backcourt mate, Jamal Shead, averaging 12.3 points per game, 5.8 assists per game. And Juwan Roberts averaging 8.7 points per game and 7.1 boards per game. Key players will be Damian Dunn, the Temple transfer, and Joseph Tugler. Now, they are 15-2, 6-2 in Big 12 play, so their only losses came in Big 12 play. We talked about it earlier, being Iowa State and TCU. They're currently on a 5-game win streak. Now, Houston is first in scoring defense, giving up 52.9 points per game, 185th in scoring offense, but they're still averaging 74 points per game and number 1 in scoring margin. Now, Kansas is led by Hunter Dickinson, 18.7 points per game, 11.2 boards per game. Kevin McCullough, who, man, he's one of the do-it-all guys in college basketball, averaging 19.8 points per game, 6.4 boards per game, and 4.7 assists per game. And DeJuan Harris, one of the best distributors of the ball in college basketball, averaging 7.4 points per game and 6.9 assists per game. They're key bench players. At times, it's El Marco Jackson. Sometimes he starts, sometimes he come off the bench. Nicholas Timberlake and Parker Braun, they're 17-4 with a 5-3 Big 12 record, but they're undefeated at home. Not just in Big 12 play, but period. Undefeated at home. I'll start this one again. Oh, wait, hold on, my bad. They're 35th in scoring margin, 9th in assist to turnover ratio, and in this one, I think the home team stays undefeated. I'm going with Kansas. I think the guard play for Kansas, they can match Houston's guard play with DeJuan Harris. I think Kevin McCullough, man. Kevin McCullough, he can play defense. He can score. He can do it all on the floor, and that's something huge to have. I think Hunter Dickinson can take advantage of Juwan Roberts and the bigs that Houston has down low. Hunter Dickinson is just such a scoring threat. You can feed him the rock. He can even pass out of it. He can pass out of doubles down low. He can shoot. He can stretch the floor. I'm going to go Kansas in this one. And as we talked about in Houston, their 2 losses in Big 12 play has been on the road. So I'm going to take Kansas in this one. Vaughn, I'm going to go to you.
I agree with you here. I think Kansas makes a stand for this big game here. This is a really big game for them to really show that they are a powerhouse. They do have some L's, but all of them are on the road, at home. They play very well. And like you said, they have the pieces to match up with Houston. And Hunter Dickinson is the X factor for me, like you said. Like, he's the guy that I think that has the mismatch in this matchup, and I think they exploit it. So I'm going with Kansas as well.
Dave,
we all are in agreement. I'm going with Kansas as well. Although I'm giving a little bit of a halt because they have been upset 3 of the last 8 games. Kansas has lost 3 of the last 8 games against two teams that were unranked and one team that's only 23rd ranked in the country right now. That's Iowa State.
That was
So,
on the road.
but like you said, they are at home. They're not on the road. I got Kansas coming out and winning. I feel like Hunter Dickinson is going to be able to set the tone for the team, and they're going to come out and not BS around and win this game against Houston. Houston, like you said, they are ranked first in defensive scoring in the country, but I feel like Kansas is just a whole nother animal when it comes to that. So I feel like Kansas wins this game.
Yeah, and I don't hold the Iowa State loss to Kansas that much because Iowa State at home against ranked teams is just sometimes on another level. Not even sometimes, they're on another level. Like they step it up at home against ranked teams. They did it against Houston. They did it against Kansas. I think they've done it not this year, but they've done it before against Baylor. Like they are a team at home. You don't want to be ranked. You don't want to have a lot of buzz about tournament runs and stuff like that because Iowa State will end it at their house. But yeah, I'm with Kansas on this one. Like I said, man, I think, and let's not forget their Allen Fieldhouse is a weapon in itself. So yeah, I'm rocking with Kansas. Anything else?
That's one thing about college, man. Them home atmospheres really play a key in these games. More
it's
than, like,
crazy.
NBA games and that stuff like that. Home court advantage in college is just a beautiful thing for the home.
You got Arizona State when they had the free throw line, they got the little blinds, and then they show was behind the bro. That's lit, bro. I love college basketball environments.
Hey, it's the same with college basketball and college football.
Yes,
the
sir.
environments in college is just different. It's a different level. I think the closest thing I've seen to that in pro sports is maybe the Seahawks when they had, the 12th man. I think that's probably the closest thing I've seen. Or like, how Kansas City sometimes gets loud in Arrowhead or something like that. But other than that, it's I don't see anything close to what happens in college.
Golden State too.
Yeah,
Golden State too. Like even but if you look at college, you look at places like Duke and UNC basketball. Both home games, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy in both of those games. It's just I don't know. But shout out to Brock Purdy. He went to Iowa State.
Hey, him and Tyrese Halliburton, they was cool at the time.
Yeah.
But moving on, we got Oklahoma at UCF. This is Big 12 ESPN Plus game, so you got to be subscribed to ESPN Plus to watch it. Oklahoma's favored by 1.5 on the road against UCF. Now Oklahoma is led by Javion McCollum, averaging 14.6 points per game, 3.7 assists per game. Otega Owe averaging 13.4 points per game and 4.3 boards per game. So right there with him. And Jalen Moore averaging 10.3 points per game and 5.8 boards per game. Their key players off the bench are Rivaldo Swords and Latrey Darthur. 16-5 and overall record, 4-4 in Big 12 play. UCF is led by Jalen Sellers, 17.1 points per game, 4.2 boards per game. Darius Johnson, 13.1 points per game and 3.8 assists per game. And Shamari Allen, 7.2 points per game and 4.1 boards per game. Their key players off the bench are Omar Payne and Marcellus Avery. 12-8, 3-5 in Big 12 play. Their biggest win was the that home win against Kansas. Huge upset there. I'm going to go to Dave. Who you got?
I'm going with UCF. I feel like Ibrahima Diallo is going to be able to control the boards. And I think Jalen Sellers is going to have another good game. I feel like this is another home game that they can beat a ranked team. So I got UCF winning this game. I do expect it to be close. I'm expecting to win by like 3 or 5, no more than that. But I got UCF at home.
Vaughn?
I'm going against that one there, Dave. UCF, they have had an impressive win against Kansas, but what we say about Kansas, they're great at home. Away, they can take an L away to teams that they shouldn't have no business taking an L to. Trust me, I know. I lost a parlay because of that one time. But at home, UCF is only 9-4. They're not that great. I mean, it's a winning record, but most teams that you are afraid of at home really are like 11-1. Only lost about 2 games, 1 game, undefeated, things of that nature. I just think Oklahoma has the firepower to get at this team, and I think they'll get a dub. on the road today.
All right. Dave, you another lone wolf. I'm going with Oklahoma on the road. And here's why. UCF, it's a pretty good defense, giving up 65.1 points per game, 33rd in the country. But Oklahoma just got so many ways to beat you offensively. Like I said, you got Javion McCullum and Owe. You got Jalen Moore. You got so many guys that they can attack you from. Now, UCF got guys that can score too, but I think at times UCF kind of gets stagnant, which Oklahoma can take advantage of in situations like that. Oklahoma has a really good they've gone against really good teams. They're battle tested in that regard. I think Oklahoma pulls it out. Oklahoma is 45th in scoring defense, so they're right there kind of in that same caliber of defense with UCF as well, giving up 65.9 points per game. So they're 0.8 points a game allowed, just off by 0.8. So I think they can play defense just as well as UCF. I think Oklahoma can score just a little bit better than UCF. So I'm going to roll with Oklahoma in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you with that. I'm with you with that for sure. You know, UCF is kind of like they don't have, like you said, they don't have enough contributors on a game to game basis. You know, it's like I'm looking here now, and it's one game here, what game against Cincinnati, and wow, they had a guy, they had two people, and they thought two people had 0 points that start like no, they had one guy that had 2 points and played 34 minutes. Another guy 7 points, played 29 minutes, and like it's not enough. You know, you need you know when you got a one man show or like a team that has like two guys that can do something, it can be very tough on them to beat a team that's more well rounded.
Exactly, and to consistently keep that up. So I think Oklahoma takes it because of that reason. I agree with everything you just said as well. Moving on, I gotta get to my banners real quick. We got the game of one of the games of the chat. We got University of Maryland at MSU, 5:30 on Fox. MSU favored by 6.5 points at home. Maryland is led by Jameer Young, 20.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, and even 1.5 steals per game. Julian Reese, 13.6 points per game, 10.1 boards per game, and 2.3 blocks per game. And Dante Scott, 11 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game. Their key players off the bench are Jahari Long and Jamie Kaiser Jr. They are 13-8, 5-5 in Big Ten play. They're currently on a 2-game win streak. Now MSU, led by my boy Tyson Walker, 18.9 points per game, 3.1 assists per game. AJ Hogard, 11.8 points per game and 5 assists per game. And Malik Hall averaging 11.2 points per game and 4.9 rebounds per game. Key players off the bench for MSU is Trey Holloman and Carson Cooper. Mirror record 13-8, 5-5 in Big Ten play. Now MSU does have the road win against Maryland 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago tomorrow. You know, Trey Holloman with the big defensive stop against Jameer Young in transition plugged them for the game, up 2 points. We've currently won 5 straight against Maryland. 5 straight, 6-2 at home against Maryland. So we kind of have Maryland's number at the Breslin Center. I'm going to start with this one. I think it's another close game, but I think MSU pulls it out at home. Just speaking about home advantages, I've been in a couple MSU games myself at the Breslin, and the environment is electric. I was there for the Valentine's Day Massacre when Denzel hit the three-pointer to win against Ohio State in 2015, 2016. So the environment is electric, a lot of swearing, a lot of cursing. The things you hear in that environment, you probably didn't think you would hear at a college basketball game, but hey, kids, right? So I think we take it. Tyson Walker versus Jameer Young is always prime time. 2 guards that can really get a bucket when the shot clock winds down and you need a bucket. I just think MSU defensively, really good defensive team, top 50 defensive team. Think we play really well. I don't know if y'all remember, but I watched the second half. So I fell asleep before the first half. And it was like maybe 8 to 10 points scored combined in like 8 minutes of gameplay in the second half. So these teams played great defense. I'm going to just I'm going to take MSU on this one. I think I went to Vaughn first last time. No, I went to Dave first last time. Go to you, Vaughn.
I'm gonna roll with you, Carl. You know, like you said, that center will be rocking. Like definitely, y'all have one of the home courts that when I watch the games, like, and I got my speaker booming. It's like I'm there, you know. I enjoy watching y'all at home for sure. Like you said, y'all got the number right now, and I feel like y'all are a more well-rounded team. We just spoke about this in the previous game. I think y'all are more well-rounded. I think y'all team plays more of a team ball type of game. You guys average seven more assists in them a game, which I think is very key in college basketball. It shows that you can get easy buckets. You don't have to work so hard for your buckets. You know, you got guys that trust each other, and I also think y'all coach gives y'all the edge as well. So I'm gonna lean with y'all. I'm gonna lean with MSU.
Cool. Go ahead, Dave.
H to the Izzo. I'm going with Tom Izzo, man. This is one of the best college basketball coaches of all time.
Yeah.
We know that this is his time of the year. February, March is when he starts to turn the team up. I'm not expecting anything less. I'm expecting MSU to win this game and go on a 6-game win streak against Maryland. He's gonna have these boys ready. Tyson Walker is my favorite player on the team. He's a bucket, no matter what it is. He definitely sets the tone for this team. I got MSU winning this game. No question.
Yes, sir. I can't disagree with nothing y'all said, man. Izzo, man, is definitely the key here. Izzo, this is around the time. You know what they say, man. January, February, Izzo. And February's here, so Izzo's around the corner. So I agree with everything y'all said. We're going to move on from one chat game to another chat game. We got Duke at UNC 6:30 on ESPN. This is what most guys is waiting for. This has the potential to be game of the day. I'm gonna set the table, but I'm gonna let y'all two talk for real. Duke is led by Kyle Fikowski, 17.5 points per game, 3 points. No, I think that's supposed to be 8.7 boards per game. My bad handwriting. 1.9 blocks per game. Tyrese Proctor, 11.2 points per game and 3.9 assists per game. I put Mark Mitchell because Jeremy Roach has been kind of on the bench, not on the bench. So Mark Mitchell, 12.5 points per game, 6.1 boards per game. Yes, if you listen to this, I know he was on the bench twice, but I think it was 2 recent games that he's come off the bench. So I put Mark Mitchell. Fight me, I'm sorry. Now, I put, instead of key bench players, Duke kind of rotates a lot what they do. So I put other players, Jeremy Roach, Jerry McClain, Caleb Foster. Key other players for Duke. Now, Duke is 16-4 with a 7-2 ACC record, 17th in scoring margin, and 11th in assist-to-turnover ratio. UNC is led by RJ Davis, another bucket of the college game, 21.5 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, and 3.3 assists per game. Armando Bacot, 13.4 points per game and 9.9. So you can say 10 boards a game. Elliot Cadeau, I put as the third guy because when Elliot Cadeau is not turning the rock over, when Elliot Cadeau is facilitating the rock, normally North Carolina is either blowing you out or they're just dominating you. It's just not a blowout. But Elliot Cadeau, 7.6 points per game, 3.7 assists per game. Now, their key bench players are Seth Trimble and Jayla Withers, but I have to talk about Harrison Ingram and Ryan Korkmaz being other great contributors. So North Carolina 17-4, 9-1 in ACC play, number 1 in the ACC. Just took a loss to Georgia Tech on the road last second. Well, not last second. It was 7 seconds left when he made the shot. But Georgia Tech took the lead with 7 seconds left. UNC cannot take the lead back. But UNC is undefeated at home, just in general. Undefeated at home, 21st in scoring margin, 22nd in scoring offense, averaging 82.6 points per game. Since Vaughn is the home team, I'm going to let him go first.
Hold on, I got to make a call right quick. RJ, I need 30. I need 30. Hey, Ellie, I need 10 plus assists. I need some ankle breakers and all that. All right, bet. Hey, we undefeated at home, man. I don't see that changing. Now, listen, last year, what happened? We embarrassed ourselves. We didn't make the tournament. We got invited to the NIT, and what we do? Turn it down. That is embarrassing. Now, y'all also swept us last year. We coming back for revenge this year. Our team is way more well-rounded. I feel like last year we were so reliant on Caleb Love, RJ Davis to really get buckets for us. And Bangkok, it felt like he was hurt all year the way he was playing. But I feel like this year we have a solid point guard that can facilitate for us. We have RJ, just like we just spoke about having a well-rounded team. I feel like this is as well-rounded as a UNC team has been in a while. We have a solid center, we have a solid point guard, we have a solid scorer, and we have solid glue guys. Solid guys coming off the bench. We even have a good big man that comes off the bench that gives us energy, gives us good. He dunks on people, he gives us block shots, attacks the glass. So I feel like us being undefeated at home, coming off an L, going into this game against our rival, I feel like Hugh will have his guys ready, and I feel like we're gonna come out on top. I don't think we're gonna blow this team out or nothing. We always have a battle with Duke. I respect Duke. They are a solid team. I just think this game we're not gonna let them win, especially in our hometown.
Dave.
Yes, yeah, but UNC is very well rounded. I feel like RJ Davis has been balling out all season. He's the reason why UNC is the number one team in the ACC, along with all the other players they have on this team. And I respect UNC, but it's Duke. This game different. This game different. I'm not about to pick UNC to win this game. Duke going to win this game on the road. We about to extend this win streak against UNC to 3 games in a row. Now, Kyle Filipowski, you know, sorry if I'm, botching your name.
We got you.
Charge it to my head, not my, yeah,
I got you.
Charge it to my head, not my heart. He has been magnificent this season. He is the reason why we are where we are. We've been up and down pretty much all season as far as our ranking. At the beginning of the year, we were top 5, then we went down all the way to 22, then to 15, then back down to 20. And now we're 7th. We're top 10 again, and it's because of him. He had a hip removal or something like that.
No, he shaved his
hips. Come on, Dave. You already know what it is, Dave.
So he shaved his hips to be able to be more fluid, as far as to be more flexible in the game. And actually see it. If you look at last year compared to this year, you can tell that it actually happened. He definitely did whatever they said he did. It's obvious because the way he moves around the basket is a lot better. Now, I will say this: I am glad that Jamin Roach is now coming off the bench because he is not. To me, he's not the point guard that we need to be starting. He's more of the guy to get the second unit to come in and play a little bit better. I like Tyrese Proctor at that point guard position. I feel like he's a better matchup when it comes to him going against RJ Davis. I feel like those two will be able to battle out in this game. And I like how Ryan Young comes off the bench. He's able to help out on the boards a lot as well, along with Mark Mitchell. I feel like this team is ready. I feel like this team is really good, and I feel like we're going to win this game. Close game, of course. Like I said, I don't think we're going to blow them out. I don't think any team is going to blow anybody out because we always play a tough battle, and the environment is going to be crazy. So, but we're used to come into this environment and it's crazy, and we've had plenty of games where we've won on this road when we had Austin Rivers. The shot when Austin Rivers came in and hit the game. So. I know Austin Rivers not walking through that door, but we got some really good players in this team that can make an impact just like Austin did.
All right, I know you want to clap back at that. Before you clap back, I just want to say I fully expected neither one of you to pick. I just expected y'all to say why y'all would win. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Well, I can't get mad at him for picking his squad. Duke has been playing well lately. They got a solid, like you said, Flip has been balling out of control. I just think like with us being at home, I think our biggest factor, like you said, Ellie, man, our point guard. Early in the year, I feel like we were struggling to find our identity. Really, we was dropping some games. We lost a couple close games to some ranked teams. We also beat Tennessee as well, but I think we lost to UConn and
lost Villanova.
It was Villanova, but I feel like we're gonna today, like I said, man, we undefeated at home, and we can't let our first loss be against Duke. It got a lot of emotion in this game. Like I said, we don't have I feel like we were so Caleb Love and RJ Davis or bust last year, and I feel like this year we just well rounded and we just got it all. Like we literally have it all. We have scorers, we have defenders, we have a big man that can control the paint and control the glass. We even have a guy off the bench, Jalen Washington, the sophomore. I like him a lot, 6'10" forward. He plays with a lot of intensity. So it's going to be a good game, man. Everybody get your popcorn ready, 6:30. and watch UNC get this dub.
I don't know about you watching UNC get this dub, but watch a great game and Duke gonna win on the road. I'll be at work, but I'll still be watching the game. I might not be in the chat, but I'm definitely gonna watch the game.
So yeah, the other loss was a neutral site against Kentucky. So that was the other loss.
That's the team, Kentucky.
But, all right. Well, I let y'all battle out. I guess it's my time for my opinion. Who I think gonna win this game, man? Dave.
I know.
You ain't gonna like me.
I know.
I got North Carolina.
I expected it
against Duke tonight, man. At Chapel Hill is going to be crazy.
Crazy.
Armando Bacot, he gonna be a problem for Kyle. Yes, Kyle is more fluid in his movement due to the shaving his hips. But Bacot, that's a big body down there. He also can move. He's gonna be able to play well. Now, Kyle could probably get him on the perimeter and create from there against Bacot. But man, you got guys like Harrison Ingram, who he can facilitate, he can score, he could play bully ball. You got Elliot Cadeau, who's been on a heater lately. He's not turning the rock over. He's dishing the rock out pretty well. Ryan Corkmack shooting the ball from a pretty good percentage from three. I have UNC beating y'all, and the main thing that pushes it over the top for me is being at home. Like Vaughn said, they're going to play with more passion because they don't want Duke. They know they're undefeated at home. They don't want Duke to say, hey, we're the first team to beat y'all this year at y'all house. They don't want to hear that. So I'm going with UNC. I'm sorry, Dave. It just is what it is.
No need to say sorry. We had an MSU L. I expected you to go ahead and go and get
okay,
UNC.
then here we go. That's fine.
But one thing I want to say about this Tar Heel team, I really think that this team is a championship team. Like, I feel like we are like, this is a real solid team. No disrespect to Duke. I just feel like top to bottom, we have everything you need to win a championship. So I'm excited. I might gotta go put that parlay in real quick.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not mad at your thought process there. I do think UNC for sure has a Final Four to national championship type caliber team due to the transfer portal, which is just one attack for real. But yeah, I agree for real. I think Harrison Ingram and Ryan Corkmack were huge additions that put UNC over the top, letting Caleb Love walk. Another huge addition by subtraction. I agree, man. I think y'all are looking like a force in college basketball this year. I would love to see it. Y'all versus like a Kansas versus a Houston versus the upper echelon as well. But y'all definitely look like a upper echelon top caliber team. Y'all got it out the way. Y'all got everything off.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on.
I'm good. I ain't got nothing else to say.
We're going to move on to 12th ranked Iowa State at 18th ranked Baylor, another game of the day candidate. Iowa State, like we talked about earlier, huge upset wins, but those were at home. Can they get one against Baylor on the road? Now, technically, this wouldn't be an upset, but it'll be a huge win nonetheless. Iowa State is led by Taman Lipsey, 13.9 points per game, 5.2 boards per game, and 5.7 assists per game. Keyshawn Gilbert, 13.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, and 4.3 assists per game. Milan Milosevic, 13.1 points per game and 3.3 boards per game. Again, bad handwriting. If it's 5 instead of 3, bad handwriting on my part. Key bench players are Curtis Jones and Jackson Pelotovic. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Iowa State is currently 16-4, 5-2 in Big 12 play with a 3-game win streak. While bolstering the 47 scoring offense, 80.4 points per game, but not to forget about that tough defense at Iowa State, 6th in the country, allowing 61.8 points per game. Now, Baylor, they're led by Jacoby Walter, 14.9 points per game, 4.6 boards per game for the freshman. Ray J. Dennis, the transfer from Toledo, 13.2 points per game, 6.7 assists per game, and 3.7 boards per game. And Jalen Bridges, 10.7 points per game and 4.7 boards per game for the transfer, I believe, out of West Virginia. Their key bench players are Langston Love and Josh, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Oju Olajewune. I'm sorry. I know I mispronounced it. Not even if. I know I did. I apologize. Baylor is 15-5 with a 4-3 Big 12 record, 1 home loss all year, and that was recently to TCU in double to triple overtime. But Iowa State is rocking a 3-game win streak versus Baylor. And I was rocking with Iowa State before I seen that. That put it over the top for me. I'm going with Iowa State. and technically an upset because they're 3.5-point dogs against Baylor, but rankings wise, they're 12th versus 18th. Taking Iowa State, man, this defense is phenomenal by Iowa State, and they can match it by scoring. When I saw the game against Houston, when they held Houston to what? It was like low throughout the first 10 minutes of the first half. I don't even think they scored like 10 points. It was that low against Houston to start the game. I knew that Iowa State defense was for real. And I think it can travel, especially against Baylor, who can get flustered by defenses. MSU went on a run against Baylor, but MSU was at home earlier in the year. I think Iowa State can score with Baylor, and the defense to me pushes over the top. I went Vaughn first. I'm going to go you first, Dave.
This game was a little tough for me just because of Iowa State being on the road. I feel like I would like Iowa State a little bit more if they were at home.
Yeah.
But that's not going to make me change. I'm still going to go with Iowa State. I'm not as confident as I would be if they were at home. But I still feel like Iowa State will be able to pull off a win today. Even though Baylor is favored to win this game, Iowa State is ranked higher, so I wouldn't necessarily, call it an upset in that way. But it is a little crazy they got Baylor winning this game. But Baylor is at home. But Iowa State's defense, I think, is going to help them out in this game. Like you said, they ranked sixth in the country. I got them winning the game. I don't see anything being any different from how Iowa State has been playing this year. Iowa State wins on the road.
I agree. Hey, Dave, I do want to say I agree with your statement that if it was at Iowa State, it'd be no question. I'm taking Iowa State. But go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, Iowa State definitely. If they was home, yeah. But I'm gonna lean with y'all. Iowa State, like you say, they can score, but I feel like we say, Dave, you gotta be able to do both. You gotta be able to score and defend at a high level, and this Iowa State team can definitely do that. Like I feel like if the game is close, I feel like they'll be able to get the stops necessary to get the W. And they just had an impressive win against a really good home team at TCU on the road. They beat TCU in a close game, so I feel like if the game is close, which I feel like it will be close due to the defense that this team can play, I got them edging this team out. Baylor, who actually lost to TCU at home by 3. So, and TCU put up 105 on them. It was 3 overtimes, but you went to 3 overtimes because you couldn't get the necessary stops and get the necessary bucket. So, I feel like Iowa State is a team that can do that. When it's time to get a bucket, they can do that. When it's time to get a stop, they can also do that. So I'm going with Iowa State.
Yeah, and you're right, because Baylor was definitely winning, and then I looked again because I switched from it, and I was like, what, we're going into another overtime? What happened? And sure enough, TCU got the dub. So earlier I said Houston didn't put up 10 points with 10 minutes left in the first half. They had 6. With 10 minutes left in the first half, they had 6. Houston scored 21 points in the first half against Iowa State in that game. Iowa State's defense is for real. So for anybody doubting it, it's the real deal. We're going to move on to our last power conference game of the night. Tennessee at Kentucky, 8:30 on ESPN. Tennessee is favored on the road by 1.5. And South Carolina fans jokingly said this is the battle of the losers to the Q-Zips. So I ain't going to dub it that, but hey, I love a good shot. Tennessee is led by Dalton Nitch, the transfer from Northern Colorado, mid-major school. He's averaging 20.1 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, but his points per game is in conference play. It's like 28 plus. It's ridiculous. Jonas Adu averaging 11.6 points per game and 7.4 boards per game. And Josiah Jordan James, 8.4 points per game and 6.7 boards per game. Now, their key bench players are Jordan Gainey, who's a bucket, and Jamal Mashak. Tennessee is 15-5, 5-2 SEC record, 43rd in scoring defense, allowing 65.9 points per game. They also have key contributors to Kai Ziegler and Santiago Vescovi. Then we have Kentucky led by Antonio Reeves, who had the whole transfer situation in the offseason, but he ended up staying at Kentucky. There was rumors he was transferring back to Illinois State, but then he was enrolled in summer classes at Kentucky. He's at Kentucky, long story short. He's averaging 19.5 points per game and 4.4 boards per game. Trey Mitchell from Texas, 13 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game. And DJ Wagner, who does have injury questions tonight. He's questionable tonight against Tennessee. He's averaging 12 points per game and 3.7 assists per game. if DJ Wagner were to go down, Rob Dillingham would step in his place, who's definitely a key bench player, who's second in the team and scoring average per game. And Reed Shepard, another bucket at Kentucky. Those are the two key bench players for Kentucky. Kentucky's 15-5 with a 5-3 SEC play record. Third in scoring offense, averaging 88.6 points per game. 65th in three-point attempts, averaging at 24.7 three-point attempts per game. And they're shooting at 40%, which is 6th in the country at 3-point percentage. So they're getting them up, and they're making a huge amount of them. And that's Kentucky. Kentucky's going to play offense. They're going to get out in transition. They're going to try to beat you with these guards and chuck up a bunch of threes, while Tennessee is the opposite. Tennessee wants to slow you down. They got length everywhere on the floor. They want to slow you down and wear you down offensively and defensively. I think I went Dave first. I'm going to go you, Vaughn, first.
Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee. Before I go there, the Rob is a prop. I'm going to tell you that right now. The boy only playing 23 minutes, and he got the second most points on the team. He's a beast. If you watch him play, he can cross you, J you, and he can slam on you. But I'm going Tennessee. And the reason is, we just talked about this. You got to be able to do both at a high level. And this Kentucky team can't stop nobody. Like you say, they like to get up and down. And those type of teams, for me, I feel like they can get beat any night due to the fact that any team, even if you're not a good offensive team, you can have a good day against Kentucky with the way they play their play style and things of that nature. But I think Tennessee goes in Kentucky, goes there, they get them a dub. Kentucky hasn't been that impressive this year. They've been dropping some games that they should have won. They did beat us. I give them props for that. Thanks to Rob. But I think Tennessee is going to show that they're the better team today and get the dub.
Dave?
I'm normally with you on this, Vaughn, but I'm going with Kentucky. I feel like Kentucky's going to be able to ball out in this game. I just don't know if Tennessee's going to be able to stop their shooting. That three-point shooting for Kentucky is dangerous, and I feel like that's going to cause Tennessee some problems in this game. I feel like Antonio Reeves and the rest of this Kentucky squad is going to be able to have their way. I'm not expecting it to be as close as they have it right now. I'm expecting UNC to win this by like 8-9 points. I mean UK to win this by 8-9 points. So I'm going with Kentucky.
Ooh, that's bold. Okay. And Dave, I'm sorry I gotta keep doing this to you, man. But you're the lone wolf again. I'm going Tennessee. I think Tennessee's length plays a huge factor in Kentucky shooting today. I think Tennessee has a team that can impose their will, slow it down, which Kentucky don't like to play at. They don't want to play at a slow pace. They want to get out in transition. They want to get up and down the court. Tennessee, they want to slow you down, and they have the guys to do so. And another thing, Dalton Knight. They have nobody, in my opinion, for Dalton Knight. They don't. I'm sorry. Dalton Knight is going to terrorize Kentucky. Now, Kentucky does have bigs like Aaron Bradshaw, who stepped up lately. They do have bigs. But Dalton Knight is a big guard who can shoot over guys, who can back you down, turn around, jump shot. He can shoot the three. I do think at times he does get a little OC, and like he does get a little ball dominant. But against this Kentucky team, they can't stop you, so it don't even matter. I just think with Tennessee's style of play, it is exactly what Kentucky does not want to play against, and I think they get the dub because of it.
Yeah, let me read Dalton's last 6 games. His points: 31, 32, 25, 39, 36, 28. He going for 30 today. He going for 30. He going for 30. He going for 30.
This Kentucky defense ain't good, but I just feel like they're gonna be able to outscore them.
That's what killed them in the Texas A&M game. They was able to score with Texas A&M, but they couldn't stop Texas A&M. And Wade Taylor took over late, and they couldn't stop him. And they got a guy like Wade Taylor and Dalton Knight. He's not as quick, he's not as shifty as Wade Taylor, but he gets a bucket all the same. And I think that's what's going to kill him.
Yeah, definitely giving me a thought about changing my pick. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, man. I just feel like something tells me that Kentucky's gonna be on fire today.
No, I get it. Kentucky's at home. They the environment, like we all say, is crazy. They know this is the big game because they're coming off of, or they're not coming off a blowout against USC, but you know, they
Overtime to
they
Florida.
want to, if they beat Tennessee, they move up, I believe. I don't know about in front of them, but I know they do move up in the SEC. I think right now, currently, Alabama is one in the SEC. They only have one loss in SEC play. I can't even remember who that was, too, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, so I get the motivational factor and everything. I just think style of play wise, Tennessee, they win this game. Anything else before we move on to 5 mid-majors, and we're just going to rapid fire through those real quick.
Alabama actually lost to Tennessee.
There we go.
By like 19.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I remember there being a blow. I just can't remember who.
Yeah, no words for me. Just y'all continue. Yeah, and this show great. I got to roll. You know.
Yes, sir.
So
appreciate you for coming on, my boy.
No
Yes,
problem.
sir.
No problem. Tune into Dave's Doghouse this week. Special episode coming up.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're just going to rapid fire through 5 mid-major games to look out for. The first one being Utah State, 17th ranked Utah State at San Diego State, 3:30 on Fox. A real barn burner of a Mountain West Conference Mountain West Conference game coming up. Utah State is led by Gray Osobor, Ian Martinez, and Darius Brown. San Diego State is led by a All-American candidate, Jaden Ledee, Michael Parrish, and Reese Waters, with Darian Trammell coming off the bench. I'm a roll with San Diego State in this one. I think they dropped a couple games. I think they get right in this one. I think they can play defense well enough to, not stop Utah State, but slow them down. They play their style of game and they win this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with you on that. I'm gonna roll with the home team. I think that, like you said, San Diego State, it took them. They were a little flustered, kind of how like you guys were starting the year off. They had to get their footing going, and I feel like they will come out today and get the dub.
Man, that's crazy, man. You see how they taking shots at your boy Carl, man, on his own show. That's crazy.
I'm thinking facts, though.
Hey, look, I was going to say something earlier when Dave was like, man, our rank has been up and down. Like, you'd rather be up and down than just straight down. From 4 to nothing.
Chill.
All right, we move on to our next mid-major game. Richmond, currently undefeated in A10 play versus VCU. Richmond, led by Jordan King, Neil Quinn, Isaiah Bigelow. Shout out to Jacob Gilliard. Had a pretty good game against Golden State last night. VCU, led by Max Scholger, Sean Burstow, and Zeb Jackson. Max Scholger is a shooter for sure. I went Richmond. I don't even think this is really a road game because if I remember correctly, VCU is also in Richmond. So, like, this is like a cross.
So close.
It's like a cross city battle. I went Richmond.
Yeah, it's definitely in Richmond. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Richmond too. I just think they're the better team. VCU is favorite on this game, so if you're a parlay person, please look into get betting spread with Richmond because they have the firepower to get at this team, and they're kind of similar when you look at the numbers here. But I just think that Richmond, they have King. I think King will have a good game today for sure.
Yeah,
like you said, it's not an away game. It's like a home away from home game. Like
what you say?
for real.
So yeah, I agree with that. Also, Richmond in the past couple of years have been a really good defensive team, especially the guards. That's why I shouted out Jacob Gilliard, man. Hey, man, they can put ball pressure on a lot of guards, disrupt your offense. So I'm gonna go Richmond. We move on to probably one of me and Vaughn's favorite games of the day. South Florida at North Texas. Me and Vaughn and Dave actually pre-show. We're talking about how much we love this North Texas team. North Texas is favored by 6.5 at home. I'm rolling with the home team. I'm rolling with North Texas, but shout out South Florida. They've been having a really good year. South Florida is led by Shelton Miguel, Chris Youngblood, and Keyshawn Pryor. Keyshawn Pryor is a 6'10 guy who can shoot. He moves very fluid as a 6'10 guy. UNT led by one of my favorite guards in the country. He's taking over me, man, as a fan. Jason Edwards, Aaron Scott, and TJ Nolan. I'm rolling with UNT because UNT plays defense. Yeah, Jason Edwards can get a bucket, but them boys play defense. And I mean, I know he missed a couple last game, but John Buggs from beyond the 3-point line is almost automatic, man. Like, you can't leave that man open. I know Jason Edwards is a bucket, but if he penetrating, you can't help off John Buggs. You just got to face guard him. Now, UCF has a point guard that they've put in the lineup, Jaden Reed, who's also a pretty good bucket who can shoot really well from beyond the arc. I just think North Texas plays good enough defense to win this game.
Yeah, I'm going with the main grain too, man. I love their philosophy. It seems like they just lock in on defense and let their guard lead on the victory. And like you said, Edwards is a straight up bucket. Like the dude, the dude is like that. Like just like last year they had
Tyler
Perry. He was a bucket. Like they had the same philosophy. I believe that they ended up winning their championship, correct?
They won the NIT.
Yeah, they won the NIT. That's what it was. I remember watching that tournament. But yeah, I feel like Tyler. Trust me, I know he was balling. This team, I feel like I just like how they play, man. They play tough. The mean green isn't. Don't get that twisted because they are mean and green, and they 9-1 at home, man. So I think they make it 10-1 today.
Yeah, they took a bad loss to UAB. Dominated most of that game. It was this week. Dominated most of the game. UAB came back to win the game, but UAB is not a bad ball club either, led by Eric Gaines and those guys. We move on to another really good game. Mountain. This probably will decide who wins the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake at Indiana State. If y'all remember, I talked about Indiana State, I believe, earlier. Maybe that was actually me and my boy Luke. But I picked Indiana State preseason to win the Missouri Valley. Drake is led by the big fella Darnell Brody and Tucker DeVries, who's averaging like 20 points a game. Tucker DeVries is a bucket. And they're also led by Aiden Wright. While Indiana State is led by Isaiah Swoop, another bucket. Robbie Avila, who actually went viral earlier in like December or January for being a bucket, and Ryan Conwell. Now, both teams can get after it scoring, but both teams can get after it defensively as well. I'm gonna take Indiana State, and I lean Indiana State because they're at home, man. That's normally would be the factor in these games.
That is true. I think it will be a high scoring game for sure. They can play defense, but I think these two teams match up very well together. But I think Drake being on the road, they dropped some games on the road, so they're 50-50 on the road. So I'm gonna lean with the home team as well, Indiana State.
Sycamore, shout out Larry Bird. And our last mid-major game to look out for is St. Mary's at Gonzaga. This is also a game of the night candidate. 10:30 late at night on ESPN. So if you like me, you probably gonna be struggling to stay up to watch the rest of this. St. Mary's is led by Aiden Mahaney, Augustus Marcelonis, and Mitchell Saxton down low, while Gonzaga is led by Ryan Nemhard, Anton Watson, and Graham Ike, the transfer from Wyoming. I think I'm rolling with the upset in this one, man. I think I'm rolling with St. Mary's. If St. Mary's ever had a time to get at Gonzaga and win, it is this year. This is one of the weaker teams, in my opinion, that Gonzaga has had in the past. I think these guards can score with Gonzaga's guards. Mitchell Saxton is a problem down low. I think he can be a problem for Anton Watson. I'm rolling with the upset. I'm rolling with St. Mary's.
Okay. Now, this was a tough one for me. I'm not going to lie. These teams match up well too. Like these teams, they're literally. But I'm gonna roll with you, man. I'm gonna roll with you because not only, like you said, this is one of the weaker Gonzaga teams. St. Mary's actually undefeated away right now. They're 5-0, so they're showing the ability to get a dub on the road. They're showing the ability to get a dub in hostile environment. So I'm gonna roll with you, St. Mary's, in a close one.
And St. Mary's is also undefeated in Western Coast Conference play. Gonzaga has dropped one. I can't even remember who that one is too, but I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, I just think, like I said earlier, man, if this is ever a time for St. Mary's to take advantage, beat Gonzaga, and win a WCC regular season title, now is the time. I feel like they know that. Their head coach knows that. And I don't think they've never been afraid of Gonzaga, even with those great teams with Shevin Karnowski and Demontis Sabonis and Nigel Williams-Goss and Andrew Andrews and guys like that. They've never been one to be afraid of St. Mary's. Now, normally it's BYU that gets the upset against Gonzaga, but BYU is no longer in this conference. BYU is now in the Big 12. So St. Mary's has to step up and be that BYU, and I think they can do it. Gonzaga's only loss in the WCC play was to
Santa Clara.
Yeah. And Santa Clara is not a bad ball club either. Yep, They lost by 1 at Santa Clara. So give me Gonzaga. I mean, not Gonzaga. Give me St. Mary's.
What happened?
Give me St. Mary's.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. St. Mary's. Yeah, I think we agree with the mid majors.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of factors with those games. Those games can be tricky though. These some good matchups though that you picked to talk about. Yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna tune in to most of these games for sure.
That is true. And the thing I love about mid-major before we roll is it's like you got so many play styles where it seems like a lot of a lot of it, they allow their players to be a player. They allow their bucket getters to go get buckets, and they know their roles, and that's why you see so many power conferences going to get these mid-major players like Dalton Knick, mid-major player, Noah Thompson, mid-major player. You see guys that go to the from mid-majors to power conferences and floors because they already know their roles, they know what they can do, and they build on those things.
Yeah, I agree. Could Dan Perry go to Kansas State?
Yeah, he's at Kansas State right now.
Yeah. That's my guy.
Yeah, I know. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. Lengthy episode. I think it was a great episode. I'm pretty sure Vaughn would agree. Vaughn, give me your last words.
Appreciate you again for having me on. I think this is my first episode actually on here. I missed it that time when UNC football was on, but I'm here for the basketball for sure. But tune in to RBO, new schedule, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at noon, hot topics. And on Monday, you actually have our first debate on RBO. So stay tuned for that. Going head to head with somebody, and y'all gonna enjoy it for sure. But thanks for having me, Carl. You always, your college, man. I learned something today for sure. I had to come on here and get that knowledge from you, man.
Appreciate it. By the way, I ain't even know about the debate on Monday on RBO, so I'm definitely tuned in. I advise y'all to tune in, man, especially if you want to learn about some players in the NBA that they don't talk about. There's guys all around the league that they ball, but they don't play for the right team, so they go under the radar, and Vaughn is here to bring them to a light. I appreciate you for coming on for sure. MSU, let's get this dub today. I don't need to hear the chat talking about, we ended that 5-game win streak at y'all crib. Don't need it. Don't need my pops calling me out of nowhere, even though we sunned Michigan. And I don't need my uncle calling me out of nowhere, even though we sunned Michigan. So let's get the dub, South Carolina. Let's get the dub so we can finally be ranked. So, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, 7 years. It's been a long time. It would be so great to see South Carolina in that ranked top 25. But that's all I got for y'all again. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Like Vaughn said, hopefully y'all learned something. And until maybe tomorrow, I might be back tomorrow to talk about some of the games, go over some games, Sunday games. There's no football. Nobody's watching the Pro Bowl. Sorry, not sorry. Right. So go over some college basketball games. But until then, peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.